Hello, everyone, students, people, friends from all over the world. This is John from Platzi English Academy, and I'm very excited to be here one more time, sharing with you, practicing your English, having some fun. We always have fun with English Academy, and of course, taking our English skills to a whole new level. Today, we will be talking about something that is very useful now in these post-pandemic times in which people want to travel, in which people want to, live new experiences. We are talking today about booking things, making reservations when you travel. I know that's a topic that most of you are very passionate about. So make sure you bring your laptop, make sure you bring some coffee, your notebook, your pen, and get ready to take some notes because Gina, our teacher today, will be sharing some very interesting things that I'm pretty sure you will find very useful and very, very interesting. Now, just like I mentioned, we'll be talking about booking, reservations, and everything. So I want to know in the chat. So first, say all your highs, right? Send all your messages in the chat. Tell me where you come from and tell me where you want to go on your next vacation. We'll be talking today about traveling and booking things. So let's imagine that you are going to that dreamed destination and you're getting ready. So tell me in the chat, hey, teacher, this is John from Bucaramanga, Colombia, and I want to travel too. I want to see those messages in the chat so that way we can connect the practice activities that we have today with very real situations, and that way it becomes more natural and easier. So I want to start saying some highs here. We have students from El Salvador, very responsible all the time here. We have people from Guatemala. I love that. Colombia is present. Mexico is present as well. I have somebody here saying that, I want to travel to Italy. Oh my goodness. That is one of my dreamed destinations, and I kind of recognize that name as well. John says, hi, tocayo. Does anybody know how to say tocayo in English? There is a word for that. So 500 extra points for the person that tells me in the chat how you say tocayo, which means the same name in English. Some people here saying, I want to go to Brazil. Daniel wants to go to Brazil. Jay Towers, because it's an English class, right? Jay Towers says that he wants to travel to Asia. Ooh, fantastic. Where in Asia? Any particular destination there? Jay, I'm booking a travel to my kitchen. I'm so hungry. This is the most creative comment I've seen today. So kudos to C. Ronda ST. That is creative. That is a destination. At the end of the day, I hope you don't have to make a reservation, right? Jesus says, I'm from Mexico and I want to travel to Canada. Pablo says, I'm from Bogota, Colombia, and I want to travel to Amsterdam. Oh, such beautiful airport they have there. Giovanni says, I want to travel to Cartagena in my next vacation. So people, get ready to make some notes, to write things, because in this class, you will get ready for that dream destination, that dream trip that you want to embark on. Well, without any further ado, I want to welcome the teacher for today's session, the one and only Gina Pedraza. Hey, G, welcome, and tell me where you want to go for your next vacation.
Hello. Hi, John. Hi, everyone. My destination, hopefully the next one, is Italy. I can't wait to visit this wonderful, very historical place, very rich in history and culture, and of course, in delicious food.
Yes, delicious food, especially last time I was in Italy was like 7 years ago or so. So I feel you there. 7 years. In 7 years, many things change, right? And many things happen. So I feel you there. Do you have any plans? Are you planning on going anytime soon, or is just kind of like a dream, G?
I think for now it's a dream. I'll start saving some money, and then, the rest of the preparation will, or the planning will follow. But first I need to save some money, because if I go to Italy, I'm not going to stay in just one city. I want to
True.
get to see so many different sites and attractions. And yeah, I think I would go crazy. So I need to save money first.
Yeah, definitely, G. And so many other students are saying in the chat that they want to go to Italy as well. So you might as well, find people there. So who knows?
Nice. We can plan the trip and see if we get cheaper, hotel and ticket
probably.
costs.
Yeah, probably. So, G, to start on the right foot today's session, there's an announcement. There's something very special that we need to share with our community, and it has to do with the winners. Yeah, the winners of the most recent challenge that we had at Platzi English Academy. Hundreds, thousands of students participated in this challenge to take their skills to a whole new level, to become champions, G. And I'm very excited because right now it's the time to announce the winners. And with this announcement comes also surprises and prizes and all these wonderful things. So first of all, I want to say thank you and congratulations to all the students that participated in this challenge. You should have actually received already your badge, the badge that certifies that you participated in this wonderful challenge. And to the winners that we will be announcing in just a few, these winners will have the opportunity to participate in different scenarios. They will get a nice diploma saying, I made it. And also they will have the opportunity to interact with their teacher, with their favorite teacher, in a one-on-one session, to ask all those questions, to have a nice chat and practice their pronunciation. And also you might see them somewhere around here in the future, because we want them to.
Would love an official drum roll, but I don't want to bang on my desk. So let's just do an air drum roll.
Everyone, right? Let's invite everyone at home, right, to do some drum roll and to play some of this dramatic. I wouldn't say dramatic. I would say exciting. Like music, like background music. And Diego, our wonderful streamer, is going to do his magic in just a second, and we'll be able to see the winners of these wonderful challenge. Remember, everyone will receive their certificate. Everyone will have the opportunity, to say, hey, I did it, right? And those winners will have a special diploma and special surprises. And the first, we have it right here, right now. Congratulations to Alejandro Arturo Zúñiga Saavedra. Gee, I feel like we need to tell a little bit more. We need to share a bit more about Alejandro, because this is a huge milestone. So how about you read some of his description?
Of course, Alejo, who I want to say actually is a very active participant in our practice sessions. He's there almost every day. And as you can see, if he's our winner, is because he's been very active in our community spaces, but also very disciplined in completing as many courses as he could during the month, as many classes. A little bit about Alejo. He's an industrial engineer and he has a master's degree in environmental engineering and industrial security. How cool to learn about our students' backgrounds and, where they come from, what industries they work in. He's also a specialist in technical support, and he lives in Peru and has been working in logistics and information technology since 2017. And it's very appropriate that we started this announcement with a little drum roll because Alejo enjoys playing the drums.
Wow. What a great coincidence. You see, like, everything is working things out together for this great announcement. So Alejo, congratulations. We have somebody else, and it's time to announce this other winner of the challenge. I know in a second we will see the image somewhere around here, and it's time to congratulate Kevi Sopon, one more student from our Student of the Month challenge. G, tell us a little bit more from Kevi's story.
Of course, Kevin is from Guatemala. He's actually a financial auditor, and he's been studying English at Platzi for 2 months. And what a great start, Kevin. Only 2 months, and already you're in our top students of the month. Really, really wonderful job that you're doing here, showing that you're completely motivated, that you really want to learn the language and be an active part of our community. And Kevin says that he wants to challenge himself and have a different way, a different perspective on how to see the world. So I'm curious, I want to know more about that. How do you want to see the world?
Gee, and something fascinating here is that Kevin just achieved this great milestone in only 2 months. Imagine what's going to happen in a year, right? In a year, he's going to be the next teacher teaching this class, right? Who knows?
I think it's possible, yes.
Very possible. Very, very possible. So, Kevin, Alejo, congratulations. And again, congratulations to everyone participating in the challenge. Remember, you can be the future, the next students of the month. All you need to do is keep very good study habits, come to your practice sessions, to your live classes, take courses, and be very attentive to all the challenges that we are always releasing. In the comment section, I left the link of the blog post in which you can see more information about this challenge and the winners. So after these wonderful announcements, G, it's time to get down to business. And I know you have prepared, some vocabulary and some things that are going to be very useful when it comes to booking things and traveling in general terms. So I'm very excited. And as usual, there's going to be a nice game towards the end. So be very attentive and get ready to participate as well in the chat. Remember, you can always leave your questions in the comment section, and that way we can ask G these questions at the end. So G, let's learn all the vocabulary we need for making reservations.
Of course. So we are going to talk about vocabulary that we need to book or reserve flights. That's what we're going to be focusing on for today. As always, it's nice to see you here. My name is Gina. In case you haven't seen me in these spaces before, I'm a content expert here at Platzi's English Academy. So let's go ahead and get started. What vocabulary do we need when we want to book a flight? Pay attention, take notes, because at the end of this class, I will be asking you some questions and you will be able to answer them quickly and effortlessly if you paid attention and took notes of the words that I'm going to explain here today. So let's go ahead and start with the first thing, and it is to let you know that the words seen in this class, plus much more content, expressions, and vocabulary are in our Making Reservations and Booking Activities audio class. So if you haven't checked that out, go ahead and do so. We will leave the link in the comments section. It's a great way not only to learn about the topic, but to work on and strengthen those listening skills. So I recommend it first of all. Now, let's go ahead and get started with our first word. And I want to ask you a question. When you are planning a trip, one of the first things you should consider is, who are you traveling with? Who are those people that are going to be part of this trip and that you need to include when you buy the tickets? Now, yes, you can say my family, my friends, but for the airline or the company that you're purchasing the tickets with, these are passengers. So who is traveling with you? And of course, how many passengers does that make? Is it 1, 2, 3? Think about that. Who are you traveling with? How many passengers are part of this trip that you are planning? The next thing that you need to know when you are booking, when you are reserving a flight, is what type of ticket do you want to buy? And here you're going to see 2 pictures. And in the first picture, we can see one airplane and it's flying in one direction. That means that you're planning on buying a one-way ticket. You're going to leave your destination and you're going to arrive to another one. That's it. You're only going to buy a ticket that takes you from one place to the other. That is a one-way ticket. But maybe you want to make sure that you have your return ticket, that you know when you are leaving, when you're arriving, but also when you are coming back home, when you are returning. In that case, if you want to buy those two tickets to leave and to return, then your ticket is going to be a round trip ticket. So keep in mind the difference between these two types of tickets. Is it a one-way or a round trip ticket? Are you just leaving, or do you want to guarantee that you also have your return secured? Let's go ahead and check the next question. What are you taking with you? What are you taking with you? In the first picture on the left, we have two smaller luggages, actually a small luggage and a backpack. These are the things that we call carry-ons, the things that you will be able to carry with you in the airplane while you're there, that you can actually see, that if you need something, maybe you can take it out during the flight. Usually, airlines are very strict about the things that you can take in your carry-on luggage. For example, nothing that's too sharp. They're going to pay special attention to liquids and amounts. Of course, all to guarantee safety, that everybody is safe during the flight. But you will be able to carry a lot of stuff with you, maybe books, tablets, little things here and there that you might need during the flight, or to keep handy for when you leave the airplane, like your personal documents. So the things that you have with you during the flight, those are called carry-on luggage. That's the carry-on luggage, the one that you can never separate from, or that you don't have to separate from. But what about those bigger suitcases, the ones that you have to check? They're called checked luggage or cabin luggage. So usually they weigh a lot more. Most airlines allow you to have a checked or cabin luggage of approximately 20 to 23 kilos, if I'm not mistaken. That, of course, may vary from airline to airline or depending on the country. But here is where you will take the majority of your clothes, accessories, and other things that you don't need with you during the flight. And that, of course, you want to make sure arrives to your final destination. So there you go. What are you taking with you? A carry-on, a backpack, or checked luggage or cabin luggage? Next question. Remember, take notes of this vocabulary. How do you want to fly? Now, to determine this, you need to check your pockets, your budget for the flight. In the first picture, we see that this arrangement or these seats are very close to one another. You have a certain level of comfort. They don't look like very uncomfortable seats, but you don't have that much space to maybe stretch your legs. A couple of these seats, and especially new airplanes, include TVs. And if you already know what type of class I'm talking about, go ahead and comment in the chat. But I'll tell you, it is economy. This is called economy class. Of course, it is one of the most affordable options. And in my opinion, it's a good, the relation between the cost and the quality of what you're receiving, the experience, I think it's fairly good considering that you're going to have many passengers in one flight. This is the economy class, but maybe you want to fly with a little more style. Maybe you have a higher budget to book your flight, and you choose to have more space. Not having 4 people per row or 3 people per row right next to you, but to have only one person, space that will allow you to even work from the flight, eat comfortably, stretch your legs. This is called business class. Not a bad way to travel, if I might say so. But finally, we have the most expensive one that I already saw in the chat. We have first class. Now, this is luxury in the air. You have more privacy. You have not only a better presentation in your meals, but actually different meal options that the rest of the passengers do not have. They even offer more expensive and fancier type of drinks and beverages like champagne. So if you want to travel like a movie star, like a celebrity, and you have the money and you want to fly with extreme comfort, then you would choose first class. Now, I want to admit that I have never flown business or first class. It's always been economy. I don't complain, but I would like to one day have the chance to fly in one of these other two classes. What has been your experience, Johnny? Have you ever been maybe in business because you were able to afford it? Did you receive maybe a perk or maybe just luck? Some people get moved from one class to another. Well, because the staff decides it. So I don't know if you've had that opportunity, if you've been so lucky.
It's happened to me a couple of times already, G. It's been a great coincidence. It's never been because I paid the upgrade. It's always been because one time I was traveling I was in Panama and I was going to Amsterdam, and they, as usual, they overbooked, right? They oversold my plane. So they say, all right, can you travel a few hours later and we'll send you first class? And of course I was like, oh no, I'm not going to accept that. But then I said, like, I'll do it if you give me, extra comfort and everything. And they were like, oh yeah, for sure. So I was like, I played the character and I got pretty fancy first class traveling through KLM. I remember was the airline at that point. I was one time. And the other time was because I had gotten a new credit card. And as I was traveling, I had a priority pass that I used. Mm-hmm. So they say, oh, because this is your first trip using your card, you have access to the VIP lounge. And I was like, oh cool. And the VIP lounge comes with first class as well. That was within Colombia. It was fancy and I enjoyed it. What about yourself, Jay?
Never. Have never had the luck or the privilege. Not yet. But hopefully I will, because I want to fly in style. Now, in the comments, I could see that one of our students, Allison, she asks, what's the difference between business class and first class? As you can see, Allison, you have more privacy in first class because the space is reserved for you. Usually the seats are bigger. As you can see in business class, you have maybe a similar type of material, let's say, in the seats to what you would see in economy. But in first class, it's usually leather, something softer. The food that you are presented with is different. So there are perks, and the staff is usually more attentive to your needs. It feels like you have personalized service rather than, somebody that is helping everybody in the plane. It feels a little more personalized. So those are some of the differences. And of course, the price. So that's an important difference for you to consider as well. Now, let's go ahead and continue with our next question. And that is, when are you leaving and when are you arriving? So what do we call that specific idea of leaving and arriving? What is that concept? Well, you've probably seen this sign many times when you have been at an airport. When you leave, we call that departure. Yes, and you have to pay special attention to these signs because you need to know where exactly you need to head in the airport. As where are you going to need to present your documents? If you're leaving your country or a country, you need to go to where the flights are leaving, to departure. And if you are maybe expecting someone, waiting for somebody, you want to surprise them, say welcome, hello, then you go to arrivals. You pay special attention to where you will find the arrivals. So you leave, departure. When you arrive, arrivals. So keep that in mind as well. Let's go ahead and check vocabulary, not so much for the booking process or the reservation process, but for when you have already reserved, you're ready to travel, and you arrive. You're there at the airport, ready to leave. What do you need to know? First, that you need to check in. Now, you can do it at the airport. A lot of airports have these special machines that will allow you to do it individually. You could do it at the counter with the help of a clerk, but you can also do it online from the app, from different apps that airline companies have for you, and they will notify you with 2 days. You have, I think, 48 hours before the flight, you can start checking in, but it is important you do, because that is the way that you confirm that you will be there and that you get your boarding pass, which is the document that has your name, your seat, your departure or travel information. And you need to present this before boarding the plane. That is why it's called a boarding pass. So make sure that you can forget your clothes, but make sure you have your boarding pass and your passport handy if you want to get on that plane. So I hope that this vocabulary was clear, that it helped you in the process of understanding what you need in order to book a flight. Now we are going to practice. So I told you in the beginning of the class that I was going to ask you some questions. And these questions will come as no surprise because we already reviewed them throughout the class. In the comment section, go ahead and, using the vocabulary that you have learned today, answer these 6 questions. Number 1, where are you traveling to? If you could choose right now to travel anywhere in the world, and Johnny asked you this in the beginning of the session, where are you traveling? Imagine that you're planning a trip for next week. Where are you going? Number 2, who are you traveling with? How many passengers will you be going with? 1 passenger, 2, 3. Next question, what type of ticket do you want to buy? Remember what we call the different tickets for when you're only buying, I don't want to say it, I don't want to spoil it, but when you're only focusing on your departure versus when you are buying the ticket to return. I don't know, I'm giving you some clues there, but you should remember the different types of tickets. Number 4, what are you taking with you? What type of luggage do you need? Number 5, how do you want to fly? With what level of comfort or luxury? And number 6, imagine some dates. When are you leaving and when are you maybe arriving to that destination or arriving back home? We know that there are some very long flights. If you're traveling to a different continent, then the day that you leave is not the day that you arrive to that place. But you can also mention your arrival as in when you plan to come back, when you want to return to your initial destination or location. Those are the 6 questions. Go ahead. I can see already some answers there in the comment section. And while you're answering those questions, I'm going to have a little chat here with Johnny. Johnny, when was the last time that you got on an airplane? And I think I know the answer, but tell us, when was the last time you were on an airplane?
So, last time I was on an airplane was actually like 2 weeks ago when I traveled to Bogota for Platzi Conf. Yeah, it was fun. It was a bit hectic. The story behind is that I spent 5 hours at the airport waiting because my plane got delayed 3 times due to a heavy storm in Bogota and here in Bucaramanga. So yeah, oh, wow. I would always remember that time.
You will always remember the 5 hours you spent at the airport.
Especially when it's midnight, right? You tend to remember those times a bit more.
I can imagine. So late and arriving exhausted because those flights are so tiring when you have to fly at night.
They are. They are. So yeah, that was the last time I was on a plane. What about you, Jay? When was the last time you were on a plane?
I think it was around April. It was an international flight, and I was traveling to another continent. I went had the amazing opportunity to go to Turkey, and I have to admit I was pretty freaked out. I was scared because I hadn't been in such a long flight in years. It
Oh, wow.
was 15 hours. And there was a storm, and I saw lightning outside the window while I was on the plane. So I was having a panic attack, like, oh my God.
Of course.
But everything went great. And I can relate to one of the comments from our students where they said, I lost it now, but I saw the comment a little while ago where one of our students said that they were afraid of flying. I have to say, yes, I'm not such a big fan of flying either. So I was feeling the panic, but everything went great and it was an amazing trip.
I'm glad it went great, G. Yeah, I remember like when you travel overseas, it is exciting, but it's also terrifying because you spend, I don't know, 10 plus hours just seeing water around you. And I don't know about you, but I'm not a water person. So I prefer to eat, sleep, watch a movie, listen to something, and I avoid, looking through the window because, I mean, just seeing water, like open water, and even, I mean, at night, imagine that. I love traveling, but I need to admit that it's more challenging when you travel, overseas and, it's just open water. Jean,
I get it. Yes.
yeah, you mentioned something interesting, and is that you went to Turkey, and I actually saw some other students there and that they have been to Turkey or they want to go to Turkey, right? And you said that was in April. Now we saw the past, right? We saw more recent, present. What about plans for the future? All right. You mentioned that you want to go to Italy. So I want to ask some of these questions to you while we get some answers in the chat. So you already said where you are traveling. Okay. Now, next question would be, who are you traveling with?
I would love to have a family trip because I don't think we've ever done that with my family. So I would love to have the opportunity to travel with my mom, my sisters, my little nieces and nephews,
Nice.
the whole pack, have everybody there with me. Yes.
Actually, I'm doing that this month with my family. It's going to be the first family trip we do to a different city. So I'm pretty excited, and I get your feeling there.
Where are you going to?
Cartagena.
The beach. Nice.
Yes. Like I said, I'm not a water person, but I enjoy being around people, having fun. So I'll just stay by the shore, just, cheering up on people. But yeah, that's what's coming. So you are traveling with your family. Now, what type of ticket do you want to buy?
It has to be, maybe not that I want, but it has to be a round trip. Otherwise, they won't let us travel.
Very likely, yes.
Yes.
That's very important.
If we're going with a tourist visa, now remember, this is all hypothetical. And you should be answering these questions too in the chat. We're going to take a look in a bit. But when you want to go to Europe or pretty much any other country, you will have a visa, either tourist visa, or maybe it's a work visa, student visa, but you need to inform the authorities, yes, the government of that country, how long you're staying. Yeah,
Jan, for some countries, it's not even a visa, but like a special permit, right? Like a transit permit that allows you to stay a certain amount of time. So just make sure you investigate and you are ready.
Yes. So in this case, round trip, we have to have a return date.
Okay, cool. G, I'm skipping question number 4 because We'll be talking about that in a second in our game. So I'm going all the way to question number
Ah.
5. How do you want to fly? This is hypothetical, so you
Yes.
can be creative.
For this hypothetical scenario, I want to fly first class. I want
Fancy.
to eat the best food, try the best desserts and drinks that the airline has to offer, and fly comfortably. If I'm going to be nervous, then I might as well, be nervous, but with comfort.
True that, right? Some like very casual, some very casual food on the plane, some lobster, right? Some
Casual,
champagne,
normal,
very casual, right?
yes. Everyday meals.
That's true. And finally, G, when are you leaving, arriving? Hypothetically speaking, once more.
Let's say I am leaving tomorrow and I will arrive there probably the day after because it's going to be a long flight.
Yeah.
And I will return in 3 months. I will use all the time I have in that tourist visa. So I will stay 90 days.
Okay. Nice. I mean, when you travel to a different continent and you spend 2 hours one day, 2 hours, 2 days, one day going, one day coming, I mean, you should stay there for at least, I don't know, like 10 days or so. So it's worth
As long as possible.
As long as you can. Yeah, definitely. Awesome, G. Thanks for answering these questions. We have some answers already in the chat. So let's take some turns answering some of these comments. I see people from Bucaramanga. Ooh, that's nice. I'll be asking a question about this in just a second. But here we have a very complete answer that I want to read. Rodriguez Ulises says, I'm traveling to England with my friend. We bought a one-way ticket. He took 2 cabin luggage and we will be leaving tomorrow. That sounds like a very certain trip. So good job there, Ulises, with your answer. We also have Julio. He says, I also want to visit Turkey and live the experience of getting on a balloon. Ooh, did you get on a balloon while being there, G?
Yes, in a hot air balloon in Cappadocia, or how it's called Cappadocia by the locals. And now that we're paying attention to the pronunciation of the place or the places, I saw in the comments a couple of students pointed out something very important, and it's that a couple of maybe weeks ago, or was it 1 or 2 months ago, Turkey officially changed its name for the international community. So it's not Turkey, it's Turkey. So
no way.
Yes. That's the local name. That's what they call their country. But in the international community, we refer to the country as Turkey. But that changed this year. After I visited, I have to say.
Okay.
But yes, thank you for pointing that out in the comments.
That's interesting. I'm pretty sure that's connected to the fact that the country has the name of a delicious meal, right? So I'm pretty sure there's some sort of connection there. But nice. Okay. Thanks for sharing that interesting fact, G. Nicole Perez says, I'm traveling to New York City. I'm traveling with my sister. I would buy a round trip ticket and I want to fly first class, hopefully. I truly hope you can make that dream come true as well. Nicole, great example. We have Miguel. Miguel says, I would like to go to the USA. I will get with my 3 passengers. I will travel with 3 more passengers, a round trip ticket. And I take a backpack and some cabin luggage in economy class, right? That's, traveling light. That's good when going on vacation. We have also here, Mateo says, I'm traveling to Barcelona in Spain. I'm traveling with some friends and we want to know the Spanish culture and the architecture and the wonderful landmarks. I have Spain in my bucket list. I've always been to Spain, in an airport and just waiting for hours, which is not valid. But great, fantastic examples from everyone here in the chat. Great participation. It is now time, G, to have some fun. regarding, traveling and booking and getting ready to visit all these different destinations that you just mentioned. But I know you have one more announcement to make regarding where and how we can practice more, G.
That's right. Before we go into our game, I do want to remind everyone that if you want to learn how to book flights, but also how to book hotels or accommodation, you should check out our audio class called Making Reservations and Booking Activities. So I highly recommend it. It's going to be a great listening exercise, and you'll be able to review some of the vocabulary that you have seen today, plus learn some new words. So go ahead and check it out. The link is in the chat. And now I'm ready for this game.
Perfect, G. In this game, it will be very important and necessary to be creative. What's going to happen is that we are going to play something that it's called Name 5 or 5 things. So I will say 5 things and a situation, connected to traveling, to booking things, to the items that you bring with you. Okay. And I just want you to be as creative as possible. We will have only 30 seconds, but I want you to give me non-conventional answers, right? To be as creative as you want with these different categories. And then we'll read the chat and we'll see if some of your answers match the ones from our students. So it's different categories. You name 5 things and you have 30 seconds. Does that make sense?
Makes sense, but let's go ahead and play the first round so that we really understand.
Correct. So I'm going to share my screen. Our wonderful streamer will do his magic in just a second. Okay. And what's going to happen is that we'll once we have the timer on screen, okay, you will have the 30 seconds to answer or to give me your answers to this situation. Right now, I'll still see you, and in a second, we'll be able to see my slide. Okay, so remember, it's just 30 seconds, and everyone at home or everyone, from your different places, remember, you should put your answer, you should leave your answers in the comment section so we can match them. You can match your answers with the ones from G and see who is more creative when it comes to this. So the first category or the first element is 5 things you never take when you travel, right? Or when traveling. We will have 30 seconds, effective. It's going to happen here very soon. The timer will appear very soon. 30 seconds. Okay, I can count. There you go. 30 seconds, G. 5 things you never take when with you when traveling. Go ahead and tell me those 5 things.
Guns, knives, scissors, explosives.
Wow.
Animals.
That's 3 animals. I mean, you technically can. One more. 5 seconds, G.
Weren't they 5 already? And
I counted 4.
No, bombs, explosives. Did you count explosives?
Wow. Yeah, and definitely these are things you should never take with you, right? I'm curious as to why all those elements include some sort of, I want to put it in the best terms possible. Tell me more about your answers, G.
Well, these are things not that I own or personally have, but things that I know I should never take with me. And when I said animals, I meant maybe more like in my luggage, because now you can have a pet for emotional support, but I meant like, what would I never put in my luggage? All of that. So yeah, it turned a little bit, I don't know how to express it. Dangerous
you went the extra mile.
You said creative.
That's true. And I appreciate that is commitment, G. And commitment, it is also some of the answers we have from the chat. We have Christina says, guns, poison, please do not take those things with you, right? Exotic animals, that's true. We have to be responsible with our animals, right? bombs, and knives. Look at that level of coincidence with your answers there, G,
Great
right?
minds think alike.
True, that's true. We also have Edith. He says a tree or a plant, right? That's kind of challenging, right? A gun is the first thing you should not pack. Please and thank you, everyone. Your mother-in-law. Oh my. First of all, that's not a thing. But 2 points for the creativity. You can. I encourage you to have those conversations. Adonai says an alien. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you should not do that, right? Without consent. Ask the alien if that's all right. I never take with me when traveling a duck. Yeah, that's kind of challenging, and a bit noisy. If it's challenging to bring a dog aboard, imagine a duck. I've never seen that.
Tricky.
And I hope I never see that, honestly.
Be weird, yeah.
Ronald says, you don't take ribs. I want to believe it's barbecue ribs. Right?
I hope.
I really hope. Okay. Let's go with the next category. Now, G is 5 things you shouldn't eat on a plane. 30 seconds, effective.
Oh, effective. This is difficult. 5 things you shouldn't eat on a plane.
You shouldn't eat on a plane. Be very creative.
Okay.
30 seconds will happen now. Go for it. 5 things you shouldn't eat on a plane.
Sushi, because I think it wouldn't be safe to eat sushi on a plane. Maybe the quality would not be that great. Anything that is too messy. So barbecue ribs, don't eat that because you're going to be a mess. Anything that's too smelly because there's other passengers on board.
5 seconds.
Respect that. And
2, 1, and time's up.
Okay, 3 things. Smelly, greasy, and sushi.
So you said, barbecue ribs, sushi, and what was the other one?
And smelly food.
Well, give me an example of something smelly. That is food.
Fish, for example, on the topic of sushi, fish can be very smelly. Here in Colombia, we have some chips that people say are also smelly. I don't want to mention specific brands because I love those chips, but yeah.
Curry, for example, curry is very smelly.
Curry, cheese, these things that don't appeal to everybody's sense of smell.
That's true. And some other examples here in the chat are, for instance, like fish, for sure, right? Laxatives. Please.
Oh, that's a great one. Yes. Terrible.
Do not drink laxatives before traveling or getting on a plane. Nails, please. Right? Christina's very creative today.
Your own nails or
onion. Gee, yeah, that's true.
Oh, another smelly food. Onions, garlic. Garlic,
yes.
Very strong.
Sancocho, it's hard to drink or eat sancocho on a plane, right? Beans with mazamorra, for sure. Please do not take your beans with mazamorra with you when traveling, unless you want to call everyone's attention, right? Oh my, tamal, you cannot, you technically can, right? Maybe you shouldn't. Chunchullo, lechona, oh my, octopus, a shark. It's hard to eat a shark when you're not on a plane. You shouldn't actually. That is the message. Oh my, I love the level of creativity. G, let's go with the next. Are you ready?
Ready. Let's do it.
Perfect. 5 things you can't do on a plane. Now, it's no longer about food.
Okay.
It is about
activities,
behaving. Right?
Nice.
So 30 seconds, effective. Start thinking. Timer will appear here in 3, in 2, in 1.5.
Almost.
There
There we go.
5 things you can't do on a plane.
You can't dance salsa You can't practice
True.
karate. You
Okay.
can't sing karaoke. You can't do kickboxing
Okay. 10
similar to
seconds.
karate. You can't
Five,
disturb the
four,
pilot or the
3, please
captain.
do
You
not.
cannot disturb them.
Right on time. I don't think I've ever seen anyone practicing karate on a plane unless it's a movie, right? Which is,
Unless it's a movie, but you can't. You
you
shouldn't.
can. And imagine dancing salsa and then there's some turbulence. Can you imagine that? Like, you cannot do your
maybe
moves.
maybe it'll make the dance moves more interesting, but I think you should avoid it. Yeah.
A bit shaky, though, a bit shaky, but okay. Nice, great answers. Let's see some of the chat. You can't play football, right? That's for sure. You can't jump or run. You can't punch people. Yes, please do not.
Mhm.
You cannot pee on the seat. I mean, go use the restroom, right? You can't smoke. You have to be
Good.
very responsible.
Oh, that's a good one.
You can't make the interesting. You can shout out loud. Yeah, please do not.
Mhm.
Um, you can't play soccer. You can't change seats many times. That's actually a thing, right?
Mhm.
You can do burpees. Those exercises.
Yes. There's
You
no
can do
room.
yoga. There's no room. I mean,
There's
although
no. Maybe in
yoga,
first class.
maybe first class, right? Maybe if you reserve the entire lounge or something. I love it. I love it. Are you ready for the next?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. 5 things you can do. That's my bad. You can do. That is a typo. Can do, not to. 5 things you can do to save money when traveling. Your
Ooh,
hacks.
okay.
5 things you
Okay.
can do to save money when you are traveling. Okay.
Okay,
And
this is a
timer
good
will
one.
appear soon here at some point. Your hacks, the things you do to save money. Well, that you can, not necessarily that you do, but that you can do to save some money. Timer will be here soon. There you go,
Ready.
G. 30 seconds.
You can search in different companies. Don't go with the first with the first company that's offering tickets. Search. You can try searching in incognito mode. A lot of people say this is good. And at midnight, very late at night, in incognito mode. You can travel as a group, because when you travel as a group, you save money, you split the bill. You can pay for package trips where everything is included.
And thumbs up. There you go.
Okay. How many did I get?
You got 4.
Okay.
But I'll give you the point because you gave some explanation at the beginning that it was important.
There
right?
you go. Nice. The bonus.
So 5 things you can do to save money when traveling. And one of the answers is don't wash your clothes. Well, you save some money in from the laundry rooms.
Okay.
Okay. I guess that
Interesting.
works, right? You can choose the correct hotel, right? Couch surfing. I know that's becoming a trendy thing, Don't change money at the airport. Yeah, don't exchange or the currency exchange at the airport is a bit more expensive sometimes, so that's a good advice. You can eat street food, right? Instead of going to fancy restaurants, you can save some money probably by eating street food, I guess. Buy tickets that were canceled. That's interesting. I don't think I've seen that working before. Have you, G?
I haven't seen. I wouldn't know where to actually search for these specific tickets. It would be great if you could leave a suggestion there in the chat, because I'm interested.
Yeah, definitely. There's one more here, like sleep in a tent. That'll do, right? I don't know how comfortable that is, but that will for sure help you save some money. You can carry your own lunch before departure. Yeah, maybe you can, make some sandwiches or something. That can work. That can work. Very creative, G. So let's go with the very last category.
Nice.
Five
Time
things.
for one more.
One more. The final one. 5 things you miss from home when traveling. What are those 5 things you say like, oh, I really miss home from this? We will get the timer here.
I know
soon.
these ones.
I know you do. There you go. 30 seconds.
Okay.
5 things you miss.
My loved ones, so my family members or friends, if I wasn't able to go with them, my pets, I've missed them a lot when I travel, my pillow, because some hotel beds are not that comfortable or hostel or tents. So my pillows, food from home. So when you're abroad with very different type of, foods, you miss what you cooked at home. And last, my students.
That's adorable, Jeff. 2 extra points for that final answer. Nice for sure. I agree with you. I also miss my pillow very much when I travel somewhere else. I just miss it for like a couple hours and then I get used to, but I feel you. Some of the answers is I made my pets. I miss my pillow. So many people miss their pillow. They also miss their home toilet. I bet.
Oh,
right. You miss your country food. You miss your family. You miss your bed. You miss your mattress as well. Yes, some hotel beds are not as comfortable as yours, right? The comfort of your room, your friends, your favorite books, right? You also made fruits or food in general, the culture and the language. There's so many things you can miss. And I hope that when you travel, you miss your teachers as much as G misses you. So fantastic job, everyone. G, thank you so much for sharing this tips and for sharing this vocabulary. Before we go, I want to take advantage and do something. In every life, when I say that I am from Bucaramanga, there's comments from people saying I'm from Bucaramanga as well. So go ahead, and if you are located in Bucaramanga, Colombia, tell me in the chat. We are thinking about something interesting somewhere around this area. So I'll be very interested in knowing if you are located in Bucaramanga. You might be interested in knowing what's coming as well. So go ahead and tell me in the chat. And in the meantime, G, I would like to ask you, have you ever been here to Bucaramanga?
Yes, I was there maybe 3 years ago. And I had the opportunity to not just stay in Bucaramanga, but also go to Barichara, one of the most beautiful towns here in Colombia. And it was great. I loved the people, the weather, and the different sites that we were able to go to. So, yes.
Fantastic. So if you want things to happen in Bucaramanga, let me know in the chat because we're cooking something special. And if you haven't been to Bucaramanga before, well, take advantage of all this vocabulary and things that you learned with Gina today. Practice your English and come over for some holiday. G just mentioned several places that you can visit. G and everyone, thank you so much for your participation. I see some great comments regarding my lovely city. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, the weather is great and the food is just amazing. So people in Bucaramanga, get ready because amazing things are coming. Everyone, thank you so much. Don't forget to check out the course that G mentioned to continue practicing your traveling skills. And I'll see you here next week, same time, same channel. Bye, everyone.
Bye.